Hi everybody, it's Mrs. B, and today I'm going to be making breakfast. Well, let's just call it brunch because it's midday. It's almost over for morning time, and it's almost lunchtime, and we haven't ate yet, so getting a late start. So everybody knows about preheating the oven to 350 to let it warm up, and then I'm going to cook this bacon. This is our favorite bacon. You can find it at Walmart. Okay. Uh, Mr. B loves this bacon. And what I like to do, a little trick he taught me, because we make bacon biscuit sandwiches, is to cut it before I even take it out of the bag because, bacon can be costly. So if you're trying to save money, if you're single, you got a small family, you can just cut it and have double the meat, have a good knife. Okay. So I've cut the bacon in half so that way once it's cooked, I can just put it on the biscuits. And I'm just going to lay it flat in the pan, spacing it out. Turn it on, heat it up. I have it on medium. Simple ways to make breakfast, guys. Simple ways to make breakfast. I didn't want to cut all the way. I'll have to recut it. So now you just got to stretch it apart. Little muscle, little elbow grease, they call it. Like so. Let's see if I have enough. Two for that biscuit. We pretty much do two half pieces, which makes one piece on a biscuit. So two, two, half, two, two. Yeah, I need this piece. And bacon grease is great to put a little bit on a doggy treat. Just a little bit. What goes in must come out, right? So we just give a little bit to him. Wash your hands. So I've laid my bacon in my copper pan like this. I like Pioneer Woman stainless steel or copper pans. They seem to do the best. And I just put a little bit of water in it. The water helps the grease from popping and it helps cook it more evenly. In the meantime, press the air out of your right bacon bag. And since we don't need no more, we can put it back up while we're waiting. And we pretty much wait for it to cook. And it's just slowly heating up. While that's doing that, we're gonna go ahead and get our can of biscuits, like $1.50, maybe even less than that at Walmart. And this is a jumbo biscuit 8-pack. They even got a 5-pack, and you just peel it where it says peel it right here. It should pop. If it don't pop right here, they say get a spoon or you can use your thumbs, and it pops. And you can open up the biscuit. And I just like to get them all out and then I lay them out. Now some people put them together, some people separate them. I like sometimes to separate them when we're just making biscuit sandwiches. If I'm just making something else, I'll stick them all together. But this way they get evenly cooked all around. I have one of those air pans. I put it on, put this in, so, and it says 350, 1 inch apart on ungreased baking sheet, bake 13 to 17 minutes. So, bake. And then cook time, hit cook time if that's the kind of stove you have. I'm going to just go with 14 minutes since it's a new stove. I know it's cooking great. And it has a little play button. So, and so I'm going to let everything cook, and I'm going to pause the video and start it back up to show you. But basically what you're going to do is, it's warming up. It's just a couple minutes in. Try to keep your bacon flat when you flip it. Take it like this. Don't scratch your pan with utensils that are stainless steel or metal, aluminum. You just take it and flip it. But I let it cook a little bit longer before I start flipping it. Okay, everybody, I decided I'm going to go ahead and make some gravy with these biscuits and just make it a platter instead for everybody, since it is midday. Now, I cheat, okay? Mom, if you're watching this, I wish I could make it your way. I think I know how, but it's just so time consuming. But it's really delicious, guys. If I can recall, I think you take some flour the home style way, and you take the grease from what you were cooking with, and you mix it. I don't know if you add water. I'm thinking you might add some water. Not sure about that. And then just blend it all together, salt and pepper it, and stuff like that. But I don't do it that way. I cheat. I use the biscuit pack, okay? And what it calls for is 1.5 cups of water to a full boil. So I have 1.5 cup of water. Pour it in a pan. I'm gonna let that come to a boil. In the meantime, I'm gonna take this packet and 1/2 cup of water, and I'm going to mix it together. And it says a cool cup of water for this part. And you can use a fork. I like to use my little whisker, and I just mix it, blend it. Make sure you get all the lumps out. And you have nothing else to do while you're sitting here waiting for water to boil. It's like waiting for a chicken to hatch an egg. And then the bacon still is cooking. The water's almost evaporated. Let me show you guys that. I'm getting ready to flip it. So I'm going to take my 2 forks that I'm not going to scratch my pan with, and I'm just going to lift it up, okay, and I say a little bit longer. See, it's still flat because I laid it down flat in water. The water was already in the pan. Well, you can do it either way. It's early still for me. And I didn't double layer my bacon at all. You just want to move it around a little bit to make sure it doesn't stick when it's getting to this stage. You could even add a little bit more water, but I'm good on that. I'm almost ready to flip. Go back to mixing. Make sure that grease don't pop on you. And you just keep mixing.
Of whatever you make.
You just keep mixing like this. And you let the water boil. I'm almost ready to flip the bacon. Let's check on the biscuits. They're still rising. You can smell them. I wish you guys can smell them there at your house or wherever you're at. Okay, we're almost ready to flip the bacon. So I've done nothing to the bacon but let it cook and simmer. It's been laying flat in water. Now it's time to flip it. And notice the bacon is still pretty flat. It's going to start popping. almost there. Okay, I'm down to my last piece that I'm flipping. I'm going to show you guys what the bacon looks like after I flipped it once. And this is where you have to keep an eye on it so you don't burn it. If it wants to start to curl because of the fat on the bacon, just kind of flatten it. It says it's done, but a couple more minutes, so. I'll do 4 more minutes and then check it. And the water's starting to boil. This is where you'll get dizzy. But you know, a pack of bacon will last you a while, and those little packets of gravy are pretty cheap if you're just starting out. Ooh, there goes the grease. Okay. Now, you can drain the grease. This is where you have to flip it again because it's starting to cook. Now, here's the thing. The meat is lighter at first, and it tends to turn darker when you see that it's pretty much a golden brown all over. That's when you know it's about done. See, it's sizzling. Now, even once you shut this pan off, the heating element is still cooling down, and the heat in certain pans is still trapped there. So it's going to continue to cook your bacon. I have one piece that wants to curl. You can eat bacon curl, no biggie, as long as it's not burnt, right? If it's burnt, well then it's just beef jerky. Can't mess it up too bad. See how it's sizzling, golden brown around the edges. Now I'm waiting for that fat on there to cook. And then the water is boiling. So this is where I'm going to take, and I'm going to mix this in here with this and start stirring it. Keeping my eye on the bacon. I'm just going to let that simmer a little bit. Get a little bubbles in it. The bacon. I'm going to flip it again. This is where you have to start flipping over and over. Because one side could cook faster than the other side, depending on the dense of the fat. Pretty golden brown. So all these on this one side are golden brown. So I got to cook it on the other side. It's nice to get a plate, you know, put a paper towel on it. And then you're going to take a piece off at a time properly. Depending on which ones are cooking, like the center of my pan cooks faster. I'm not going to put a paper towel down so you can see. But it's a nice light golden brown. So they are just about done. So in the meantime, I'm going to just grab as many as I can so they don't burn. You got to move kind of fast sometimes because they're all cooking evenly. But don't get hot with the grease. Look at that. And the more you take out, the more it pops. Now I have 3 pieces left in here that need to cook a little bit longer. So in the meantime, I'm going to stir this real fast. It's starting to thicken. So I'm going to shut it off. Ooh, you hear that grease popping? All right. Nice and thick. Let's check the biscuits. Biscuits are about done. I'm going to hit off because the heat in the oven will continue to brown them a little bit on top. And the bacon's done, the last 3 pieces. Okay? Now, say you have a piece of bacon and it's pretty much cooked, but there's a piece of fat that just won't cook. Hold it up and just put that piece of fat in the grease and hold it there for just a little bit, and it will continue to cook it. Make sure you shut off the oven. And you have a plate full of bacon. Bacon strips. Where's my bacon strips? Okay. Mix up the gravy some more because remember the heat from the stove top is still making it thick. I'm going to add some pepper to it. Simple recipe, guys. And now I'm taking the biscuits out. Light, fluffy, and golden brown. Guys, that's your bacon biscuits. Don't forget to like and subscribe.